Okay, so I've been wanting to make a video about this topic for a while. It happened a few weeks ago where Verizon got a ruling in one of the higher courts in their favor, saying that the FCC didn't have the authority under its own classification of the major telecom companies, that their internet service providing didn't fall under their regulation because they classified it as a information, I can't remember the exact terminology, but because they weren't common carriers under the FCC's classification, that they weren't subject to the regulation from the FCC that the other, different telephone companies and such are subject to. Where this gets really interesting, not just in the implications for net neutrality, is the fact that, make sure I get the name right here. So in 2002, Michael Powell, one of the FCC commissioners, pushed the rest of the commissioners of the FCC to change the classification of the telecom internet service providers away from common carriers into different information transmission providers or something along those lines. But basically what this did was it made it to where the FCC couldn't regulate them the same way that they could, your telephone companies and whatnot. So what's interesting is this happened all the way back in 2002, and now in 2013, 2014, we're just now starting to see the effects. So some people won't connect those two things. They'll say, oh, well, this was just, something that happened and no one could have seen it coming. The fact that Michael Powell is now one of the top lobbyists for the telecom companies would seem to indicate that he was playing the long game. He knew exactly what he was doing by reclassifying them, and that he was going to, in effect, deregulate the telecom companies and then go in the revolving door that happens in pretty much every industry with our government now, where you go lobbyist and back into government and you do favors for the company that after you retire or go back out of the government, you're going to get paid as a lobbyist, and you're going to go back in a couple years later, just and on and on and on. It keeps on going, and we can see this in a lot of different industries, not just telecommunications. But this really shows that they've been planning to make this push against net neutrality for a long time. And if you needed more evidence of that, today, in fact, we find out that AT&T just they just got their patent filed for basically a way for them to discriminate against different types of data and charge more for things like Netflix, or they would give you tiers of internet service rather than just you've got 10 megabits per second connection, have at it, Hoss, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to look at, download, stream, is up to you the way it works now. So literally, a couple weeks after they get the ruling, we're already seeing them make moves. So this really looks like they've been planning this for a while. I mean, they've known what they wanted to do. I mean, they wouldn't have spent all that money fighting the government, trying to get the deregulation if they didn't have plans to make more money from it. So this, really concerns me. I'm really worried about this. I hope that maybe we can resolve this. Some people are saying that all the FCC commissioner has to do now is just reclassify them, and then they would be able to regulate them just fine. It's pretty much up in the air. I'm on the fence about whether we can trust this current FCC commissioner, how much he's in the pocket of the big telecom companies there. So there's big concern there. I just read that there's a push from some Democrats in Congress to pass a bill, furthering net neutrality, but it's not suspected to get very far. I think the Republicans are blocking it, or at least threatening to vote against it. So we'll see how that plays out. You never know. But I wouldn't hold out too much hope for there. So right now, basically, we're just praying that the FCC commissioner isn't too bought off and will reclassify these guys so that we can regulate them and keep them from discriminating against the open internet that is really vital to commerce, education, entertainment, you name it. I mean, the internet is at the center point of almost everything that we do nowadays, so this is really a step backwards. But yeah, I wish I had better news for you guys, but thanks for watching. Comment, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.